Good morning, dear friends of Christ Way. It's been a long time that I've been together with you all, and I'm feeling much better, almost 100% recuperated. So this is your friend, your brother Dwight. And as I was sitting here this morning and thinking each night before I go to bed, because I usually go to bed before 10, each night before I go to bed, I do the invocation. And I'm just finding time-wise just to be just much more better use of my time. I want to have time with you. I want to have time for me. And the Tuesday night call just isn't working for me, which is fine, you know. But so I was thinking, what I would like to do is, we are a committed community to Christ's Way. Um, we know it with our showing up. We know it with our living. We know it with our readings. We know it with our meditations. We know it with the way our lives are going. So I have a proposal. I have a dream. And I think it's your dream as well. And that's to bring forth the kingdom of heaven, the era of love and peace and joy on earth right here, right now, this year. So I propose that maybe, I was thinking maybe begin once a week. And I thought, well, maybe begin once a month. And I thought, begin once a week and just see what we do from that. But what I'd like to do is bring in world events and bring Christ's Way into it, bring our consciousness into it. I know that Michaela, I've invited you, and I think you've taken the lead on Tuesday night with Latter Days. I believe you're very committed to that. I wasn't on the call the night that you all discussed it. But recently I've been, well, not recently, they're always there. All these abuses against women and against nature, and, you know, just horrid. And I think, you know, how horrid this is, but then I meditate on it and I find, how does Christ see this? And so I would like us to come together weekly. And just if there's any event or any passion that we have, that we bring it out in our Ascending Mastery community and discuss it with Christ's perspective. We're all leaders, as I've told you, we're all masters, ascending masters if you're more comfortable with that, but we all are committed to living and being Christ's way. There's not a right way or a wrong way with this. This is something I don't want to get off side with, because there are times on the call that I feel there's a right way and a wrong way, and there is not. Even if I get passionate about what I say, there's not a right or wrong. You know, there's my perspective, there's your perspective. All perspectives are right. All perspectives are accepted in this Christ Way community, because love is inclusive. There's no exclusions, no one outside of it, ever, ever, ever. Even if I put myself out of it, I still can't be outside of it. Christ's Way is Christ's Way. It's all Christ consciousness. We're connected, not body to body, but mind to mind, consciousness to consciousness as one. And then as we know this is the consciousness of the Christ expressing to us, absolutely uniquely. Okay? So I'm thinking about sharing this with you, Pam. I'm going to do it in order of our knowingness, our relationship. Pam has been with me, I guess, close to 2 years now, or more even. Nathaniel, who's been with me since, I believe, March of last year, now that we're in 2018. And Michaela, who's new on the block, probably maybe 3 or 4 months, perhaps. So, but anyway, and I'm thinking about inviting Kim also, and Joanne also. You know, anyone who wants to participate or not participate. If you think there's someone that you would like to invite into this collective that you feel are walking Christ's Way and are open to a Christ Way community that is about solution and answers and working toward egolessness. And egolessness is nothing more than a lower consciousness. You know, I don't want to give it an energy. There's consciousness, and there's a low consciousness, And on the other end of this continuum is a Christ consciousness. And all of us are somewhere on this continuum, and we're all working toward becoming really Christed, okay? Ascending into mastery, becoming to the place where we're getting close to where Jesus was. And from this, we can do the more and save the world. We can take the world, the rest of the consciousness awareness, to bring it forth. So a fun commitment, easy, effortless, mindful. Any philosophy, I've touched many, I've followed Guru, but Jesus is always, always, always my foundation, always my foundation. So Christ Letters to me is like living with Jesus that I said in 1968. In 1968, I got mad at Jesus. I said, you should be here now when I need you. 2,000 years ago, you're not helping me. I need you here now. I need you to tell me how to be the father I want to be, how to be the husband I want to be, how to be the coworker I want to be, to have the relationship. I want you here now to answer all these questions personally to me. Wow, this is good. Thank you. And in that rage, because I was really, I won't say what I was going to say because I'm recording this. I hope I'm recording. Yes, I am. So I was raged. I mean, I was so mad. I was ready to just throw the Bible and Jesus and everything out the window because he took me to where I wanted to be, but he didn't take me over that. Okay, he just took me to, I want more. I want to be this. I don't want to be like it. I don't want to have to think it. I want to be this. So, and his loving remark is he just stood there as gently and beautifully and powerfully as he could, as an energy. I didn't see him. I felt his presence around me, just enrapturing me with this kind, gentle, assuring words. He said, but Dwight, I have given you everything you need. I was like that spoiled little kid, the one I talk about. I walk into my sacred place with this bag of horse manure and I fling it on the altar and say to God, okay, show me the good in this. So I asked back, oh yeah, what is that? What have you shown me? And the master just showered me with love. He said, all you need is love. So, and that's all we need is love. And so now I've got the Jesus that I knew so intimately and the Christ of Jesus that Jesus attempted to show me so intimately, working together where? Within me and within you and within each of us. So we are this beautiful collective of Christ, bringing that wholeness of our understanding and even the more that we're open to through each of us and binding us together. And there's no darkness that can stand in the way of this light. And so as we get this community moving in a more active procession, evolution, okay? I came up with a phrase quite a while ago. We now have, this is like the seed of our evolution. And I changed that to, because long ago I said, we need, in America, we need another revolution. We need a revolution that's going to bring forth a new approach to government. The approach to government that our founding fathers and mothers intended for us to have and to be as a light to the world, okay? So I'm sorry this has taken a lot longer than I expected it to, but it's such a beautiful invitation. So then it came to me, yeah, a revolution is what we need, but I'm going to call it a R-evolution with the R and the E capitalized. The R stands for our, okay? I'm from Rhode Island. We put R's where they don't belong and we take them out where they do belong. So, so when I say our, it just sounds like the letter R. So it's our evolution. And if we can get behind that, and while I'm speaking to you, here's another big symbol change that has dramatic effects, for me anyway, that instead of when we refer to Christ, to me, when I refer to the Christ, all capital letters, it's like this is the universal, the ultimate, that which we probably, no, we cannot become that in our body, but we can touch it, we can taste it, we can feel it, we can become as much of it as we can. And to me, Christ is saying that we can ascend even in this body. We no longer have to die to be what the resurrection showed us to be, whether real or unreal. I believe that the Christ of Jesus was strong enough that he could express himself in many dimensions. Okay, he had that depth of intelligence and wisdom and oneness with all that is. They could say, okay, before I became this physical form, I'm an invisible form. And before the invisible form, I have an idea of what that form is going to look like. Okay, so we go out, out, out from the physical, out, out, out in our consciousness until ultimately, truly, we are one with the consciousness of all humanity. So each of us being the light and the center of this light in all of humanity, we can burst like a hydrogen bomb of love and peace and joy. Wow, imagine that. I feel so blessed. Thank you for your support and your beingness through all this and allowing me and encouraging me to say this, because I believe this is what we're all into. You know, this is about, yeah, we've worked, we've changed ourselves, we're doing well, we're getting over diseases, we're getting healthier in our relationships, we're getting healthier in our worldly expression. I mean, we're doing all this. But Christ says, you know, there comes a time, and I'm not there, comes a time when throw the letters away. Don't let them be a crutch. Just be it, live it, become it. And that to me is what the rules are about. But to me, even the rules are thrown away. It's to be aware when I'm not following the rule. You know, it's like the Jews of the Ten Commandments. When they're not following the Ten Commandments, man, they're punished, okay? Same thing, only our punishment comes from within. It's not a punishment. It's a revelation. Oh, I dropped into lower consciousness, thank you. You know, the thing about Jesus, he was just in this fifth dimensional plane most of the time. But every now and then, he dropped into the fourth dimensional plane where he could make choice into the physical. And that's complicated and complex. I won't go into that, but this is, to me, the Christ level is a fifth dimensional plane. The fourth dimensional plane is a plane where we can choose between the third dimensional and the fifth dimension. But once we're in that fifth dimension, once we're living the Christ way without the letters they are all the food, they're all the foundation. We'll be referring to them constantly, consistently. I will be reading them constantly, consistently, not saying throw them away. But now it's time to bring them into life, bring them into our civilization, into our society, into our world, into our nation, into our country, into our province, into our state, into our locality, into our world. And this is the flame. You know, I'm sorry, all these things, I guess, have been on my mind because I've been meditating in the mornings. I've been saying I'm not meditating, but I guess I have been, because all these thoughts are coming back. And that is, Jesus said, it was quoted as saying, I always like to say, it's quoted as saying, I came into the world, and oh, that it were already kindled. He came to set fire, he came to turn it on fire. Now, when we hear that not as Jesus, but as we hear that as the words of the Christ of Jesus, it'd be just as true today. I have come. I've come for you who are seeking. I've come for you who are open to put your foot to the path, to walk Christ's way and bring forth the era of love and peace and joy onto this planet, onto this earth. And each one of us are igniting the kindling, awakening the kindling. And this truly, truly, for me, I believe it in the wholeheartedness of my being, that by the end of this year, we can bring forth the kingdom of heaven on earth. Because all we have to change is consciousness, not the people. Okay? I'm not about dump Trump. I'm about a United States government that works for the people, by the people, of the people, and to be the radiant light of showing how diversity can exist in harmony with one another. This is not the Christ way. Okay? And I see a lot more of this in our Canadian brothers and sisters. From an American point of view, granted, but I see a lot more fearlessness, and I think that's what I'm judging it by, is how much fear, is there. A lot of fear in America, and I believe a lot of fear in the world. And we are the light that can dispel that fear. Yeah, this is awesome. Okay, I'm going to stop there and share this with you, and I thank you, and I guess just get back to me through email. I don't know if when I'll be on, I will periodically maybe come on at 9 o'clock, but my passion is to have two focuses for myself. One is this: bring about world peace through Christ's way, and the other is using my time wisely for myself, and have all of you use it wisely for yourselves, and everything works together for the glory of good, the glory of God, because through Christ all things are possible. And this is what I love, is when we bring Christ through all of Jesus' words, it has a whole new depth and meaning. And I'm just excited about this year, 2018. I haven't been sick or ill. I didn't feel sick. I just felt ill, very lethargic. But I haven't felt this way. And I think before Thelma and I were married, so that's over 25 years now. And I didn't feel sick. I felt I was very ill. I had runny nose that wouldn't stop. I had sore throat, but scratchy. I had phlegm, but I didn't feel sick. I knew I was ill, and I took care of myself by resting, by recuperating, by inactivity, a lot of inactivity, a lot of just breathing and being, not even meditating. Well, that is meditating, only there's just the open field and no seeds coming in, So thank you for being my brother and my sisters. And I love you, every one of you, very personally. And I'm just grateful to have this time with you. And I've got you all right in my face because we've seen each other visually. And so we're connected, and we'll go forth from here. And Thursday night is the one that would work best for me. Monday night, we're going to be devoting to the first Mondays in February to the 3 transcriptions of Christ after the letters and after the articles, okay? So we're going to do those first, and then Monday night would actually work the best. And we could look at any time, 7:30 to 9. I think later than 9 would be disastrous, and especially if Joanne's going to be on, because I'm going to include her in this as well. She's in the Eastern time, the Atlantic time zone, so she's an hour ahead of us. So even 9 might be too late for her. So I want us to all be together, and whether we're together or not, to just be in the love and love one another as Jesus showed us what love is. The love of no enemies, no conflict, no resentments, no ill energy whatsoever, just acceptance and being and allowing one another to be, live and let live. So God bless us all, everyone, through the Christ. Bye-bye for now. Look forward to being together again.